Hey everyone, this is Mike doing a commentary for Transformers Nexus Prologue Displacement. And this story takes place about a month after Transformers Origins Episode 14. And in that month, Sideswipe has been getting ready. He's been sharpening his political skills to take on Prime because he strongly believes what Prime did was wrong and he needs to pay the consequences. Regardless of what he's done, he needs to pay the consequences. And that's just basically what this is. It's getting ready. It's setting up the Nexus series and whatnot. So it's a pretty straightforward story. Um, this story, the Nexus story, has gone through a lot of changes over the past, I guess, 3 years. I've been working on this, trying to figure out what it's going to be. It first started out as being a story where Prime is infected by a virus, and the Autobots have to go save him. That was the general story of it, and that's what all I had at the time. But as it went along, it just became too simple of a story, and I've already pretty much told something like that where they have to save Prime. So I scrapped that idea and I went with another one, kind of the same idea where Prime is infected with a virus, but it's the hate plague virus, and he starts he goes into a stasis lock type of coma thing, just like he is now in the series, and he's fighting the plague within himself. The plague is slowly breaking out, and the Autobots. It's like a race against time, and eventually Prime loses the battle and starts affecting everyone. And with that idea, it just I started writing myself into a corner because I kept on making excuses as to why the Autobots on Cybertron were always getting away from Prime and not being affected. Because if you don't know what the hate plague is, it's a very contagious virus. It spreads by touch. That's all it takes. It's just one touch and you're infected. So it just became too complicated, and then we got onto this idea, and this idea unfolded when I decided to change the end of Transformers Origins. Transformers Origins originally ended with Sideswipe and everybody getting along and having a good old time, basically happily ever after. And I wrote that I wrote that 4 years ago now, and I reread it a year ago when I was getting ready to shoot it again, and it just didn't make any sense to me that things would just end happily and Sideswipe would forgive Prime and understand what he did. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not what would happen. So I rewrote it, and when I did that, it just opened up a whole new story for the new series that I was getting ready for, which was Nexus, and all the possibilities, what could happen, like the consequences of Sideswipe's actions, what would Cybertron become, what would become of Prime, everybody, Prime's team, what would they do, where would they go, and it also it changes everything when you change like the end of a story and you're getting ready for another one. It changes everything. Like in the original Nexus story, I had nothing for Starscream to do, and for some odd reason, I always assumed he would maybe attack Earth or stay on the planet where he discovered Nexus and fight the Autobots there. But I wanted him to be the main villain and not some secondary villain, which he was becoming in the early stories of Transformers Nexus. Shockwave was always pretty much the main villain. He was the one attacking Cybertron, and I decided to kind of scrap that idea and kind of put Shockwave on the backbender and bring Starscream up to the forefront as the main villain, because for me, I absolutely love Starscream. He's one of the best characters in Transformers, history, and I think I've always wanted to see him get his due. I've always wanted to see him just tear it up, and not in the incompetent way that he always does. Like he always seems to just fail. He has these great ideas, but he always fails. And I just wanted to see him do something that has never been done before by him, not by Megatron, not by Shockwave, but by him. And that's why I changed the story from Shockwave attacking Cybertron to him, because that's what it needed to be. He needs to be the main villain. That's what I've always been saying. He's the main villain, and I just had nothing for him to do. I mean, a lot has changed since the original script. I mean, at one point in the original script, I actually had Cobra Commander and Snake Eyes involved in the whole thing, but it just became too complicated, um, repetitive, and just a really simple idea for a story. And it just became boring. I mean, I became bored writing it. It just wasn't that good. So that's why I decided to complicate things with our heroes, put them in a position that they've never really been in before, and have no power whatsoever to do anything about it. I mean, they could do something about it, but they would, become Decepticons in a way. So, I think it makes for a really great story. And just want to give a little quick background story on the Alpha Nexus for people who aren't understanding it. Um, the Alpha Nexus is one of three Nexuses placed around the galaxy by Primus. It's a piece of the Matrix that Primus hid long ago. It's used for emergency purposes only. Say if a Decepticon was ever to find a way into the Matrix and infect it with a virus, then the Alpha Nexus, or one of the Nexuses, would be used to repurify the Matrix from the outside, since the Autobots can't go inside. And that's what it's used for, and that's what's happening right now in the series. Um, that's what Pterodive did to Prime in episode 3, I believe. That was the Matrix being infected, as well as Prime. So, and when the Matrix is compromised, then the Nexus turns on. And the Autobots go get it, save the day, blah blah blah. Unfortunately, that's not how things turn out. Um, so, yeah, I thought I explained that for you. I'm getting to the end of this, so I'll be doing a commentary. Probably, I don't know how many, one a week or something like that. So, yeah, look forward to them. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, stay tuned. See you later.